Welcome to my channel on all things feminine energy, sexuality, and relationships. If you want to be with a provider kind of man, a man who provides for a woman and loves doing that, then this is what you need to understand. There are plenty of men out there who love providing, who love to embrace plenty of their divine masculine qualities. And it gives them direction and purpose and inspiration to provide for their woman. But the thing is, they don't do it for every kind of woman. They are looking for a woman who embodies certain qualities and behaves in a certain way. A woman who can give back to them very specific things. And they are very, very happy to provide for that kind of woman. And if this sounds like you desire, it's something that in your soul, you want to be provided for, you want to do whatever you want with your life. Of course, you can work, you can make money, you can be successful, but you just love and you find it very sexy that a man provides for you and gives you this sense of security and safety that you can lean on him financially, then I invite you to really watch this video and see if there is something here for you to take away and start practicing already. This is about becoming a kind of woman that attracts providership. Nothing like manipulation, nothing like trying to change someone. Rather, it's about embodying a certain energy yourself that you can't help but attract a man who loves to provide. And also, there are some men out there who don't know yet that they love to provide for their woman, but with the right kind of energy that they see in a woman, they can step up and take that role of being a provider and really, really love and enjoy that. I've seen that myself many times, and this is what happened in my relationship. And I will tell you what to do if this is something you desire, even if you're already in a relationship where you still have such things on the table like 50-50 or any kind of, split of finances and hard conversations around it. And to be clear, in this video, I'm not talking about any kind of relationship where you are trading your body as a transaction for money that a man gives you. Not at all. Nothing like that. Neither do I talk here about any kind of relationship where because a man is paying for everything, now suddenly you have to shut up, close your eyes if he's cheating, just be in the kitchen and just be provided for and be in a weaker position. That's also so not what I'm about. I'm sharing here about the relationship where there is an equal exchange, where it's about both people being really happy and satisfied with the dynamic, and where both people are finding deep, deep nourishment in this relationship, where a man is really happy to pay for bills, for rent, for presents, for food, for holidays, for dates, and a woman is very, very happy to share her feminine gifts, her nourishment that comes from her body, her care, her sensuality, her feminine energy that is so, so precious. And this is something that works so well. It creates such passion, such polarity in a relationship. But having said that, this is not the only way of having a relationship. Yeah. In this video, we're discussing this specific dynamic. So keep watching if this is something you desire for yourself. So before I deep dive into how to attract such a relationship, such a man, or how to shift the current dynamic you have, I want you to just close your eyes and listen to me as I describe you this relationship dynamic, how it looks like, how it feels, so you can really check in your body. Do you really like it? Is this something you want? And is this something that you even believe you can have, you're worthy of, and that it is possible? So close your eyes now, take a breath, make sure you sit comfortably and listen to me. Feel yourself being in a beautiful, sexy, passionate relationship where a man is in his divine masculine. He's protective, he's a provider, he loves making money, he's on his purpose, and he knows that he loves creating this abundance because there is his family to care for, there is his woman to care for, to worship, to buy her gifts. There is this house, there is this life, there is this work that he really cares about. Yeah, so he does spend quite a bit of time creating that abundance. And that is his true driver, it's his true focus. At the same time, he loves worshiping you, loves giving you gifts, and he really, really loves making sure that you are safe. He protects you, he's there for you. He wants to make sure you are not stressed out about daily needs, daily stuff that you need. He wants to make sure that you're relaxed and soft because your bills are taken care of. You don't need to worry about rent. There is always enough money for food, and he really takes on that responsibility. He feels that this is his responsibility, and he is very happy to work hard to ensure that this is all covered for you and your family together. At the same time, that means you are the one who is responsible for peace and beauty and stress-free energy in the house. And yes, you're absolutely free to work, to create, to have projects, but you don't have pressure to do that because look, your needs are covered. So you can channel your creative energy in whatever you like. And you are absolutely free to be successful and make money. You decide how to spend them. Maybe you also buy him gifts, you pay for some holidays, you get him some massages, you invest in your children, you invest in stocks. Of course, you're very free to share. You're also free not to do any of that and just be at home whenever you like. You can always take a break because you have this freedom. At the same time, you know he doesn't. His purpose is to provide. That's his role. And that means you know that. And you prioritize his stress-free time at home. You're his place of nourishment, of stress release, of reconnection to love, to the body. That is your role. Yeah, because you don't have a pressure. You don't have any pressure to make money. But he does, and you know that. And so you care for him. And so you really invest your energy into caring for him, while having this privilege to be successful if you like, have projects, do whatever you want with no pressure to immediately make money from basic needs. You know you are there to inspire your man, to seduce him, to help him relax, to help him feel driven around you, inspired by you, wanting to worship you, wanting to provide for you. That is your role. Now, how does that feel in your body? Is this something you like? Is this something you believe in? Is this something you feel you want? Just check with yourself. And now, if this is still what you want, listen up. You can create such a dynamic. You can attract exactly the kind of man who will thrive in this dynamic, who is probably out there frustrated about not having that kind of woman already that he would provide for. Literally, there are so many men out there like that. And you can be the one who inspires them. You can be the one who's like, oh my God, yes, finally, I can provide for someone. I can care for this beautiful feminine being. So this all starts with you. And it is about learning and understanding concepts of feminine and masculine polarity. Understanding how feminine and masculine attract to each other, what do they bring to the table, and if you want to attract a divine masculine, then how do you embody divine feminine? On this path, the first thing that you do is you stop complaining about men not being men, there are not enough masculine men out there, and you take responsibility. You become the one who creates this life. You become the one who attracts the right kind of relationship. Completely letting go of any complaining, any negative talk about yourself or men out there, about your dating life, and taking power back. And if you're taking power back, you're taking responsibility. Yeah. So from now on, you are the one responsible for attracting this kind of dynamic. And that means you do the work. You learn, you practice, you commit to certain ways of being, and you don't turn from this path. And now I'm going to share with you a few points. Please write them down, journal in them, commit to them if this is the kind of relationship you want to attract. Number 1, stand strong on your feet. Yes, this is not a path that you can start right now if you don't stand strong enough on your own feet. Then don't start with this video. Go find a job, get a bit more stable. Because you can't come to this work and try to attract that kind of man if you are in lack, if you are desperate, if you are doing that from a place of this is going to be my savior. Yeah, we don't want to be saved. We want to inspire someone to care for us, but we don't want to be saved. If we want to be saved, if we're desperate and we're trying to find someone to cover our basic needs, we're going to attract a toxic relationship. A relationship that maybe, yes, someone can cover our needs, but we're going to pay. And that might actually end up really badly. We're going to pay with our emotions. So we can maybe attract some narcissistic person or quite a bad dynamic where you are kind of not worthy enough in that relationship. Nothing good is attracted from a place of lack and desperation. So the first thing you do is you stand strong on your own feet. Even if that means you're renting a room somewhere, you aren't able to buy yourself nice things and clothes and travel trips, but you can cover your basic needs. You have a roof over your head. You are not in a fight or flight mode, just trying to desperately find a savior. You can buy for you can pay for food, yeah, for some basic education. Then it's a good place to be in. I'm not telling you that you need to be super successful and fly business class, but just be in a place where you're not desperate. And from here, once that is in place, your job is to embody your feminine power. And what does that mean? A woman attracts a provider, someone who wants to care for her, when she's in her feminine energy, where she's soft and nourished, where she herself, her presence, is already a source of inspiration and a sense of softening. When you see this kind of woman, you see her beauty, you see her radiance. She moves slower. She doesn't rush. She doesn't fight. She doesn't compete. She attracts, she magnetizes, and she slows the energy down in the room. Yeah. Of course, she can also be expressive. She can express her dark feminine and really, really own her fears, her emotions. She can be aggressive sometimes, but aggressive in a feminine way, where she shows her heart. Yes, she can be emotional, but she's not aggressive in the masculine way, where she's fighting and competing. Yeah. So your job is to embody your feminine. And that starts from learning more about feminine energy. What are the ways of embodying feminine energy that are healthy, that are beautiful, that are good for you and good for others? And that is a whole science. If you still don't know much about feminine energy, the divine feminine and the toxic feminine, then I invite you to check out a video that I have here on 5 ways to embody your divine feminine if you're just starting this path. Next, fundamental. Make it a standard, not a negotiation point, and communicate this standard early in your relationship. Now, if you're already in a relationship and you want to shift the dynamic, that is still possible. But the best thing to do is to communicate that early in your relationship, early in your dating journey. I communicated this to my boyfriend on one of the first dates we've had. So you need to communicate that early. Set the stage and make it the standard. In your communication, it shouldn't be something that you would like. It should be something that is your non-negotiable. It is your standard. It is the kind of relationship you're looking for. And you believe that this is the kind of relationship that is going to be satisfying and really sexy for both participants. That is so important to communicate early. There are elegant ways to communicate that. And if you want to know some of the ways to communicate that early on dates, I have another video for you specifically on that. Next fundamental that really ties into the previous one. Only choose men to date if they at least match some of the qualities of divine masculine. There is no point to date a man who is extremely far away from any kind of providership for a woman. If he's still a little boy in his heart and he's running around, he doesn't have any vision about his life, he doesn't know what he wants to be, what kind of ways of making money he wants to embrace, he doesn't learn new things, and he's still stuck in old ways of being that are not bringing him any income, and he doesn't have any plans or ambitions of having an abundant life, then he's unlikely to be able to provide for you. There is no reason to try to change someone. Also, if he's very firm in his beliefs that he wants a 50-50 relationship where he's going to count the money between him and his partner, and this is exactly the way he wants to be and he doesn't want to change, there is no point to date him. Only date a man who is open already to being more in a traditional, more masculine role, where he is the one who protects, where he's the one who provides. Only those who have an ambition, who want to make good money, because let's just be honest, if you don't make enough money, there is no way you can provide for someone else. Only date these kind of men. Don't waste your time. Yeah. Next fundamental, and this one is very important. Do write it down. If you already are dating, if you're already in the early stages of relationship or even with someone for a very long time and you're working on this dynamic, share your feminine energy first. That's why the second fundamental was about embodying your feminine energy. You can't force a man into this dynamic. You can't laugh at him that he's not good enough. You can't tell him that he's not good enough because he's not providing or has enough money. You can't complain about your existing dynamic. You can't complain about anything and make it better. Yeah. So again, because you're taking the responsibility, you're embodying your feminine qualities, then you are the one who is going to lead this. You're going to share your feminine energy first. We are not waiting for them. Maybe they're already sharing their masculine providership. Maybe they're already caring for you in certain ways. Doesn't matter whether they do or not. Share your feminine gifts first. This is also proof that you're working on embodying your feminine. Become a source of nourishment for him. Help him release stress from the day. Care for him. For example, in early stages of dating, you can be just present in your very beautiful feminine dress. You can walk slower and help him slow down and relax. You can smile and be radiant. You can be light and playful. You can choose not to talk about work or any kind of hard stuff and rather talk about something light, beautiful, mention a poem you like. Be playful and sensual. And that will help him see your feminine gifts and your potential. Because men are coming there into a relationship with someone to actually be nourished. The thing is that our feminine energy is the source of nourishment for our children, for the men around us. That's why men love worshiping feminine women, because they actually receive feminine energy as a nourishment from those women. This feminine energy helps them relax, helps them heal, helps them stay inspired. They can't generate masculine, men can't generate it for themselves very often. Of course, there are some ways, but most often they can't. They actually receive it from a woman. Just show it to him. And if you're already closer, if you're already having intimacy together, if you're already spending time at home together, then cook him nice dinner when he comes from work. Give him a little massage on his head, on his shoulders, on his feet when he comes. Yeah, give him real care, slow feminine care. When he comes from home, don't rush, don't talk about your work, God forbid, okay? Don't ask him about his. Allow him to enter the space of home and actually relax. Don't overload him with a lot of talking and chatting, but open your body to allow him to get nourished by it. Yeah, a little bit of touch, really good hug, soft, slow conversation. All that actually helps him to relax and be nourished. And these guys are very happy to provide for a woman who helps them relax. That's actually the real exchange that's happening. If you're giving them what they need, they're very happy to pay for it. A lot of money, such as buying you a home if you get married, yeah, paying all the bills, covering rent, covering food, everything, because you're giving them exactly what they need and they can't get it anywhere else. Let's just be honest, everything is an exchange, and that is the exchange. So in your early stages of dating or relationship, share that with him. First, show him. And by giving him this little glimpse of what's possible, he gets inspired. Of course he wants to provide. Of course he wants to care. Of course he wants to protect. You need to show him that even a little bit. And if you're already in a relationship, you can still do that. Change. If you've been just talking about work after work, or you've been just watching Netflix, instead try meeting him in your soft energy, because you already practice this feminine embodiment, and let him relax. That is priceless for them. Next one, very important, write it down. When he pays, even for groceries, when he pays on a date, when he pays for whatever, be grateful. Don't ever take it for granted. Be grateful. These guys, the provider guys, are there to be appreciated. This is what they work hard for every day. This is why they earn money and provide for you, so you can be grateful. So be grateful. Give appreciation. Tell him how grateful you are that he paid for his groceries. Thank you so much. Thank you for paying for this holiday. This is so beautiful. If he takes you on a holiday, sit down on the first day for dinner and say, thank you so much for all the work that you've done to bring us here. I'm so grateful. I'm having such a beautiful time. And keep being grateful. Don't forget about that, yes? Because this is literally the exchange that's happening. You're having quite a nice role here, right? You are caring for yourself as your job, so you can be more in your feminine, and you appreciate. That is so important. Next fundamental, and this one can be a bit triggering, but feel into it, yes? Just don't look at things as black and white. Understand that psychologically, such a man would think, in most cases, if not all, that you are his asset, that you are something that he is investing in for himself. Psychologically, subconsciously, this is what he's going to think. This is why he's providing for you, because he sees you as his. And look, allow him to feel this way. We don't need to compete. We don't need to teach anything to anyone. Just subconsciously, very often, if a man is in his divine masculine and he's providing, he's protecting, he feels that this is for his unit, for you are his, and then you're going to perhaps have children, and he sees that as an extension of himself and you as an asset. So that's why he's investing in you, so you can feel good, be healthy, be happy, but be there for him. And yes, of course, if he's a good person, and that's what we're here about, if you ever divorce, if you ever separate, if you ever break up, of course he'll let you go. But for that moment that you're together, he feels like he's invested in his asset. So give him a feeling that yes, you are his, And this will inspire him to invest more and more and more. And he loves doing that, right? Because he's investing into something that is actually his, extension of him, something that loves him, something that gives him back. At the same time, you do need to subtly allow him to also think that he can lose you. It's an asset that he can lose. If he doesn't behave good enough, if it doesn't keep growing, if he doesn't keep loving you, if anything goes wrong, you can always leave. That is also important. That's why you can't be desperate. So he can always have motivation to actually keep working on this relationship. It doesn't mean you are playing any kind of games. Just make sure that it is not kind of a relationship where you're just working so hard on keeping it and he feels like you will do anything for him and you're like kind of down there below because you're working so hard in this relationship all the time and allow him to not work on it. Then that is not a good dynamic and he will stop actually investing into you so much. Be an asset that is interesting to invest. That yes, he might lose if he underinvests into it, but also that is a good asset that actually keeps delivering back all these dividends in sensuality, in feminine energy, nourishment, and connection. Does that make sense? Let me know in comments if it does. And if it was really triggering, I'm also happy to hear it. I have two more. One is be radiant. It is radiancy that they crave. It is radiancy that acts as the evidence of you being in your feminine energy. Being radiant means you have to take care of yourself. Yeah? Take care of yourself. Be well. Don't overdo anything. Don't be stressed out. Don't rush. Don't compete. Yeah? You are being provided for. You've chosen such a relationship. That means you should ensure that you invest enough time into your self-care. Because you need to stay radiant and healthy because your energy is a sense of nourishment for your provider. So ensure you invest in your energy. Sleep well, eat well, take a massage, do yoga, do Pilates, do feminine energy practices, care for your feminine energy, stay radiant. That is important because he wants to see that his efforts pay off. And that is just true. He wants to be around a radiant woman. And of course, things go wrong. We can get sick or a lot of stuff can happen. A lot of kids can happen. Yeah, tension can go away and that is all fine. Just remember to bounce back, to come back to radiancy. And remember that your well-being is very important. And also you can ask your man to support you in that, right? And lastly, and that is also very important to understand, of course, there can be financial difficulties. Your man can lose his job or his business. And this means you know that. You know that it is not always given that your man is all able to provide. So in case of anything that happens that prevents him from providing, it is so important that in that moment you support him. You actually support him and showing him that you are there for him and still keep sharing your feminine energy. And this is a moment where you can step up and make money and be a provider for a moment. But nourish him and support him enough for him to have enough energy to step back up and know that you've been there for him, that you've been on his side. All these suggestions I've given are going to work if you want to attract a man who provides, and if you want to create a dynamic from a place of dating to a serious relationship. Follow all these fundamentals and it's definitely going to happen. And just know that if things crash when you're already in a relationship and your man has been working hard to provide for you, now you can always step up into your role as well and help and not be so fussy about it. That is fine. And of course, we want to care for our man, whatever happens. So now, if you're just dating and you want to make sure you attract this kind of man who wants to provide for you, you can watch my next video to learn how to elegantly communicate that you are looking for a relationship where you can be in your feminine more and a man can provide for you and cover your basic needs, and this is the kind of relationship that you believe can be super nourishing and incredibly beautiful for both participants. There are ways to communicate that super clearly in a way that actually attracts the right man, and you can watch my next video for it. So if you found this video useful, please put some likes and subscribe to this channel. This is a new channel and there will be a lot more to come here. Thank you.